Hello, my dear students of class 7. For today's session, we will be continuing with the reading and understanding of the lesson, bringing up KARI. Before we get on to the second part of the lesson, I'm going to do a recap for you so that you have a better understanding of the lesson when it is explained. Okay, KARI is a 5-month-old elephant when he was given to a young boy to be taken care of. The little boy was 9 years old, and this boy was as tall as the elephant. He was so tall that if he could stand on his tiptoe, he could touch the back of the elephant. And they grew up together, and this boy and the elephant, the young KARI, both of them grew up at the same time. All right, now KARI, he lived in a pavilion under a thatched roof, and this was rested on tree stumps so that it could not fall when KARI bumped against the poles as he moved. Now, one of the first things that KARI did was to save the life of a boy. Now, KARI did not eat much, but nevertheless, he needed 40 pounds of twigs a day to chew and play with. And every day this little boy used to take KARI down to the river, and he used to give him a bath. KARI would lie down on the sandbank, and this little boy would take the sand and he would rub it on the back of KARI, and he would clean him thoroughly for an hour, and then he would pour water on him from the river that was there, and they would go back. All right, so when this boy, what he did one of the days is he used to take KARI, the elephant, to the edge of the jungle, and he used to go all alone into the forest to get some luscious twigs for KARI to eat for his dinner. Okay, this boy used to also have a sharp hatchet, which is a small little axe, to cut down the twigs. And he used to take KARI to the forest, the edge of the forest, and leave him there. All right, now getting these twigs was not an easy job because KARI liked the most delicate and tender twigs to eat. All right, so that is why this boy had to climb all kinds of trees to get these delicate and tender twigs for KARI. Now what happens is one fine day, this boy takes KARI to the edge of the forest, and then he walks all alone with his hatchet in his hand. He walks to go ahead and bring those twigs and saplings back for KARI. But this time, he heard, while he was in the forest on a spring day in March, he suddenly heard KARI calling to him from a distance. Okay, he was still very young, and his call, the baby elephant's call, was that of a baby. It was more of that of a baby than it was an elephant. And this boy thought that somebody was hurting KARI. All right, we're going to start reading from page number 9, the first paragraph from page number 9. So please follow in your textbook as the lesson is being read. Okay, I looked all over, but I couldn't find him. I went near the edge of the water, and I saw a black something struggling above its surface. When it rose higher, it was the trunk of the elephant. All right, so this boy went to the edge of the water over there, and he saw a black something he couldn't really make out. All right, it was struggling on the surface, meaning right on top of the water. All right, and then when it lifted its head up, it rose a little higher. He could make out that it was the trunk of little KARI. All right, so I thought that he was drowning, and I was helpless because I could not jump into the water to save the 400 pounds of him, since he was much higher than I. All right, so the elephant had grown up in a few years. Okay, he had the elephant for a little more than 2 years, and this elephant could not be saved. This boy thinks to himself that KARI may be drowning, and maybe I can't save him because he is of 400 pounds. And he is so big and huge and taller than this boy. How can I save him? So he hesitates. All right, but I saw his black his back rise above the water, and at that moment he caught my eye. He began to trumpet and struggle up to the shore. All right, so when this boy saw this, when the young elephant saw this boy, he struggled and he came up to the shore. Then, still trumpeting, he pushed me into the water, and as I fell into the stream, I saw a boy lying flat at the bottom of the river. All right, so KARI was not actually drowning. KARI was trying to save this boy who was lying flat at the bottom of the river. All right, so he lifts his head up, KARI lifts his head up from the surface, and he sees his master, or the little boy, and then he goes up to the shore, he pulls him in, and then this boy sees that someone is drowning. There's a small little boy lying flat at the bottom of the river, and KARI was trying to save him. All right, he had not altogether touched bottom, but was somewhat afloat, meaning he was floating. He had not gone to the bottom or the surface of the river. He had not gone to the bottom of the river, but he was still on the surface. He was somewhat afloat. All right, I came to the surface of the water to take my breath, and there KARI was standing, his feet planted in the sandbank and his trunk stretched out like a hand, waiting for mine. All right, so what KARI does is he immediately comes out of the water and he stands on the bank of the river and he stretches out his long trunk so that the boy can pull himself, and the other boy who was lying on the bottom of the river, he could pull him out as well. All right, I dived down again and pulled the body of the drowning boy to the surface. But not being a good swimmer, I could not swim ashore, and the slow current was already dragging me down. All right, so it was a very intense situation. This boy was not a good swimmer, but he still tried to save the life of the boy that was lying at the bottom of the river. Okay, and KARI was also helping him. So KARI stood on the edge of the river, but the current of the river was strong and it was slowly dragging him down, meaning it was pulling him along with the current down the river. All right, seeing us adrift by the current, meaning that KARI, looking at this person and trying to save the boy, was slowly going down the river. KARI, he was usually slow and ponderous, meaning that he kept thinking, or he wondered what he should be doing. He pondered over certain things. Okay, he suddenly darted down like a hawk and came halfway into the water, where I saw him stretch out his trunk again. I raised up my hand to catch it and it slipped. I found myself going under the water again. This time I found that the water was not very deep, so I sank to the bottom of the river and doubled my feet under me, and then suddenly kicked the riverbed and shot out upward like an arrow. All right, so what happens was, when KARI sees this boy slowly drifting on because of the current of the river, it immediately lunges forward, it jumps into the water and tries saving the boy. All right, the boy tries holding on to the trunk of the elephant, but his hand slips. Okay, but if you look at the picture over there, you could see that KARI is holding on to the boy by his neck. All right, and this little boy is also trying to pull this man, or the other young boy who had drowned. He was trying to pull him out from the river. All right, so this boy, he found that the water was not so deep. All right, so he went to the bottom of the river and then he doubled his feet, meaning he put it together, and then he sprung up and he kicked the bottom of the river so that he could go up and shoot upwards like an arrow. Now, in spite of the fact that I was holding the drowning boy in my hand, as my body rose above the water, I felt a lasso around my neck. What is a lasso? A lasso is a rope with a noose at the end. All right, a noose at the end is like, if you watch these cowboy movies, you'll see a cowboy with a rope. Or if you've watched this movie where Wonder Woman, All right, Wonder Woman is another movie where she has the lasso of truth. All right, a lasso is a rope with a knot or a noose at the end where they will throw it on the animal, and that noose, it goes and sits on the animal over here, and then they can easily grab onto it and they can pull it to safety or take it wherever they have to go. All right, so while this boy was drowning, KARI, he grabbed his body like a lasso around his neck, and this frightened me because he thought that probably KARI would push him down, and I thought some water animal was going to swallow me. I heard KARI squealing and I knew it was his trunk about my neck. He pulled us both ashore. All right, so KARI, what he does is, like the picture that's there on page number 9. All right, at the bottom of the page, you will see KARI. His trunk is around this little boy's neck. This boy thinks that maybe this might be a sea creature, but it was actually KARI, and he was pulling both of them to safety. The boy was holding the other young little boy who had drowned, and KARI was pulling this boy by his neck because his trunk was around his neck, and he pulled both of them to safety. All right, we're going to stop at this for this session. All right, if you have any questions, please put it across to me on the WhatsApp groups that we have, and let me know if you've not understood something, and I'll be happy to explain it to you again. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.